الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد. Dear listeners and viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and a very good SAHUR time to you all, and a blessed Ramadan to all of us. We are indeed blessed to have this month of Ramadan, the month of spirituality, the month of drawing near to Allah, the month of the opening of the gates of blessings, the gates of paradise, closing the gates of evil, closing the gates of hellfire. A very blessed time indeed. And there is no better time to speak about the values that Islam has brought to humanity, to mankind, for their upliftment and for the betterment of their life than during the time of Ramadan. Our talk today is going to be on the role of religious leaders in inculcating those tremendous, those high Islamic values for the betterment of society. Religious leaders are the conscience of a nation. Religious leaders, they are the heirs to the prophets. They have the heritage of all the prophets of God. Therefore, their role in society is central to the betterment of that society. All prophets, they came for the good of mankind. They were sent by Allah so that perfection of good will be achieved by humankind, and so that the evil that is spread by devils and his followers and his agents will be checked. Now, after the prophets, the ones that have got the heritage of the prophet in their hands, they are the religious leaders. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Kanat banu Israel tasusuhumul anbiya." The children of Israel, they used to be governed by prophets. كلما هلك نبي خلفه نبي آخر. Anytime a prophet passed, another prophet will come. And he said, "As for me, there is no prophet after me, but there will be successors." These successors, they are the religious leaders. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, "إن الأنبياء لم يورثوا دينارا ولا درهما وإنما ورثوا العلم فمن أخذه أخذ بحظ وافر." The prophets of Allah, they did not leave, they did not bequeath gold and silver. What they bequeathed is knowledge. And whoever has a portion of that knowledge, he has indeed obtained a full portion. And he said in another hadith, وَإِنَّ الْعُلَمَاء وَرَثَةُ الْأَنْبِيَاء. The religious scholars, they are the heirs of the prophet. That is, they got their bequest from the prophets of Allah. The religious leaders, they are the ones that take the position of the prophets of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in terms of what they are doing of teaching and purifying souls and inculcating good values. They are not prophets because prophecy has been closed, and there is no prophet after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But because it is the wisdom of Allah that the light of the final Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam shall subsist, Allah, he placed in the community ulama, the religious scholars, by whom the light of prophethood will continue shining in the society. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, إن الله لا ينزع العلم انتزاعا من صدور الناس ولكن ينزعه بموت العلماء. Allah does not take away knowledge from the chests of people by taking it off like that, but he takes away knowledge by the death of scholars. So when scholars, they die and there are no religious scholars in the society, people will ask those who are ignorant. And because of their ignorance, they will be misled and they will mislead others. So how do the ulama, how do the religious scholars inculcate these good Islamic values? First and foremost, they inculcate these Islamic values by imbibing them, because the knowledge itself is a knowledge that purifies. The knowledge that the prophets of Allah have brought is a knowledge that purifies, is a knowledge that ennobles, that gives noble character. So that is why the religious scholars, by virtue of their knowledge, they are exalted by Allah, because the knowledge refines their character. The knowledge makes them to be upright human beings. It makes them inculcate those values which people, by seeing them, they will remember Allah. The Prophet ﷺ was asked about the best of people. He said, they are the people who, when you see them, they make you remember Allah. And when they direct you, when they talk to you, they remind you of the day of judgment. So this is the first way, the first path that the religious scholars take in imbibing Islamic values, by in inculcating Islamic values, by imbibing them, so that they teach not only by their words, but they teach by their character. They teach by what they embody of excellent values, of excellence of character. And that is why, scholars that know but do not act on their knowledge, they are censured by Allah. Allah said regarding the children of Israel, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Do you command people to do good and you forget yourselves while you are reciting the book of Allah? Why don't you reflect? So by virtue of your recitation of the books of Allah, by virtue of the knowledge of the book of Allah, you are supposed to command the good. When you command goodness, you are supposed to have already practiced it and imbibed it in your own character. The other principal way by which scholars they inculcate these values is by teaching. By teaching at various stages. Scholars, they are supposed to be the imams. So they teach during the Friday sermon, during the Friday khutbah, and they give dars, they give study cycles in the mosque. And this is why Sheikh Uthman bin Fodi, he used to say, every scholar who has completed taking care of his responsibilities and the immediate personal responsibility that he has, the responsibility of his wives and children, then he should devote himself in the mosques by teaching people. So through teaching people, they inculcate these values. And the teaching is not just raw teaching. It's not just teaching for you to get a certificate. It's a teaching of instruction, teaching that gives a training, a teaching that purifies the souls. So you are directed, do this, don't do this. And when they observe something that is bad, they tell you it is bad. We are told by some of our scholars, one of our teachers, he used to tell us that when they were in the study cycle of their sheikh, normally people do not have, because of the awe and the reverence that he has, people do not bring hearsay to his to the cycle. If somebody is new and he speaks about what is happening of hearsay, then people will just look at him in a strange way, and he will feel that this is not a place where he should bring this kind of statement. If he does it another time, then people will stare at him in a very disapproving way, and if he doesn't take notice, he does it the third time, then he will be censured, and he will be told, do you think we have nothing to do except to come and sit and be hearing so and say so has said, so and so has said? So the study cycle itself, it inculcates very good values, because the scholars, they embody it. And they also they inculcate those values by directing people and by training them, like through settling of disputes, through instructing parents to do what is right when they observe something that is being done. And in the settlement of disputes, in particular marital disputes, disputes between parents and their children, disputes between partners in trading and so on, by settling their disputes, they normally tell them that this is good, this is not good. And they show to them the qualities of truthfulness, forgiveness, tolerance, generosity, fulfilling of promises, loyalty, all those good qualities that the absence of which will normally create disputes. The scholars, they also inculcate those good values in society by acting in their position as advisors. Many people, responsible people, they will not do anything till they refer to them and ask them for guidance. And by virtue of what they know of their knowledge, they put them on the right path, because they show them the way that Allah loves, and they turn them away from the way that Allah does not love. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he praised those people who make Allah loved, who make Allah beloved in the minds of his creation, and who make creation beloved in the sight of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala. And this is what the religious scholars do, and by that they inculcate the values that will bring us to a better society. Therefore, their role in the betterment of our society is not only crucial, but it is critical. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.